Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today I'm going to highlight a verse in Romans 12, 17 through 18, that refers to do not repay evil for evil. Be careful to do right in the eyes of everyone. It is possible, as far as it depends on you, to live in peace with everyone. And I was reminded of that as far as last week goes. I was working a baseball game, and right across the field there was one of the coaches, assistant coaches for our opponents, and he was one that I worked with many years ago, about 20 years ago, at the school I was at. And so I went over and spent some time with him, and it was one of those situations that kind of picked up right where we left off, and we just asked how families were, and it was just a great reunion. And in that same night, I was walking out in the parking lot area, and one of the guys stopped me and didn't recognize him, but he goes, "Can I ask you a question?" I said, "Sure." He said, "This is an odd request, but is your name Mr. Krutzig?" And I said, "Yes, it is." He says, "You were at my high school back when you taught sports medicine and our athletic trainer." And so I chuckled, and he reminded me of his last name. And it was one of those things that it was kind of a real sweet reminder that as it depends on me, and I know, I just tried to share the love of Christ in wherever I was, in whatever I was doing. And because of my profession, I can be a very neutral party and very loving and supportive and compassionate with people with injuries. So it was refreshing all in one night that I was able to reminisce and be with someone that was a part of my past, and that I evidently treated them very well. And it was nice to know that they felt comfortable in approaching me, and we just had a really good conversation. So I want to encourage everyone there to continue to do what's right, treat people well, and you never know when that history might come back, and it might come back to bite us, or it may come back as a blessing to know that we had, maybe it wasn't even a relationship, maybe it was just an acquaintance, or maybe it was just for a moment or a season. So do what's right for everyone. I've also had two situations where evidently I had done everything right, but they were trying to create an evil situation for me. And years later, I was walking by them and they wouldn't even look at me. So there was conviction there, and I just kind of looked their way and smiled, but there was no response, and they looked the opposite way. So those are situations that there's conviction, and hopefully God will deal with them in their hearts in the near future. But I want to encourage you, like I said, just to love on people, keep the peace, and do what God's calling you to do, and love like Christ loved us. So thanks for tuning in. That's our tidbit for the day. Take care.